What's up guys, my name is G Greens and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. USC had their first scrimmage of fall camp, and while we don't have footage or super in-depth details of what went down, we do have enough information to really learn a lot about this team as we near closer and closer to August 26th. But before we do get into it today guys, if you are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you guys are planning on going to any games this year, make sure you head over to SeatGeek and use my promo code GGreens for $20 off your first order. That is with 3 E's and 3 S's. Thank you so much for all your support, and let's get into this. Alright, so first things first, some of the local media posted the first team and second team units for the Trojan offense, and this is really interesting. It shows us who's ahead in all the current position battles. So looking at the first team, you have Caleb Williams at quarterback, shocker. Marshawn Lloyd is the first team running back. You guys know where I'm at with Marshawn. I have said over and over I think he's going to be an All-American and is clearly the best back on the roster, so this makes a ton of sense as well. The 4 wideouts being Dorian Singer, Brendan Rice, Mario Williams, and Zach Branch. Just as a quick note, however, Taj Washington was unavailable, so if he was there, I would assume he'd be in over Mario. And the first team offensive line being Jonah Monheim at left tackle, Emmanuel Pregnon at left guard, Dedich at center, Kingston at right guard, and Michael Tarquin at right tackle. Now, that's very interesting. The left side of the line is clearly the dominant run blocking side. Monheim and Pregnon are both better run blockers than Kingston and Tarquin, so in third or fourth and short situations, you can bet on SC running the ball to the left more than the right. And I know for a few days Gino Quinones was running first team guard, and some people were wondering if Pregnon wasn't going to start, but we saw 200 snaps of Gino last year, and those 200 snaps told us he isn't anywhere close to being the level of a starter. Of course, he could have improved over the offseason, but I just don't see it. So Pregnon was always going to be the guy there at that spot. But heading down to the second team, this is where it gets really interesting. You have Miller Moss at quarterback. He does seem to be clearly in the driver's seat for that position battle with Malachi Nelson. Austin Jones at second team running back. Austin is an interesting guy. His best role from a talent standpoint is that number 2 back spot, but he's also a rhythm runner. He needs 6 or 7 carries to really get a feel for the game. And coming off the bench, that's obviously not very realistic. So for that reason, I could see Lloyd and true freshman Quentin Joyner being the team's 1-2 punch as the year goes on. The second team wideouts were Raleigh Brown, Mike Jack, and Kyron Hudson with Jude Wolfe at tight end. So interesting group there. You have pure explosiveness in Raleigh and Mike Jack, and one of the more dependable guys on the team in Kyron. And Jude Wolfe staying healthy really is so important for this team. Both tight end and H-back depth is extremely limited. He's so skilled, his presence really makes that room feel a lot better heading into the year. And the second team offensive line was Elijah Page, Alani Noah, Gino Quinones, Andrew Millick, and Mason Murphy. Great seeing Alani getting some run with the 2 so early on, but of course I want to focus here on Elijah Page running second team left tackle. This is a huge deal guys. I think Elijah's ready. We will see him at some point this year, and I'm very confident he'll come in and play very well. I would be very interested to know what the reshuffling plans are if someone goes out. I would assume that if anything happened to Monheim at left tackle, that Tarquin would kick over to the left side and Mason Murphy would fill in on the right side. But I mean, maybe they just move Elijah up and keep the rest of the line as is. So interesting there. Unfortunately, I didn't see anything like this for the defense, which is a shame because every spot on the defense outside of Kalen and the 2 interior guys is up for grabs. But now moving on to Lincoln Riley's presser, we got some good information here too. You see here USC head coach Lincoln Riley says Saturday's first scrimmage was good. Said they got about 90 team reps offense versus defense. He listed Zion Branch with a pick 6 and a forced fumble as the standout of the scrimmage. Man, that's great to hear. Zion Branch, if healthy, can be a game changer for this defense. You go back and watch last year, one of the things this defense was seriously lacking was a playmaking versatile box safety. Max Williams and Bryson Shaw played a lot in that role last year. Max is barely 5'8", and Bryson is a deep safety. That was never going to work, and it got even worse at the end of the year when Jalen Smith got hurt and Max had to play nickel. So both of Shaw and Williams were on the field at the same time. That's when USC's defense really started to cave in. Having Zion back and making plays will be huge for this group. If you remember in my defensive preview, I did have Bryson starting at the other safety spot opposite Kalen, but with the caveat that if Zion is healthy, it has to be him. And now he appears to be fully healthy and making big time plays like we all know he can, and I really think that changes things in a big way for Alex Grinch. You need a guy to match up with a tight end? Zion can do that. You need a guy to help support the run defense? Zion can do that as well. Zion has a ton of tools in his tool chest, and Alex Grinch thrives with players like that. I'm extremely excited to see number 8 on the field here in a few weeks. So some more notes here coming off the scrimmage. USC head coach Lincoln Riley said defensive line definitely won the battle during the scrimmage. So that's music to my ears. I'm sure it is for you guys as well. Although I do think this is somewhat to be expected. When you add absolute dogs like we did with guys like Anthony Lucas, Bear Alexander, Keon Bars, and Jamil Muhammad, mixed in with the fact that 3 of the 5 offensive line starters are new, and they've been switching spots and moving all around the line, yeah, the defense is going to have the clear advantage there. But hey, last year our D-line could have gone up against some team's 3rd string offensive line and we wouldn't have seen good results. So pretty much regardless of circumstance, I'm very pleased to hear that our defensive line is excelling. Next, I have a clip I want to play for you guys where Lincoln singles out one of our young receivers. This guy seemingly gets brought up in every single media availability by Lincoln, Caleb, or other guys on the team. So have a listen.
Who stood out to you on offense in the scrimmage?
Jacoby Lane had a really nice scrimmage, had a couple really good catches, some big time plays.
Jacoby Lane is having himself a fall camp. This guy is impressing day in, day out. Coming into camp, I didn't expect much from him, but he's seemingly blowing my little expectations for him out of the water. Now, I thought he'd be a fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but in a year or 2 from now. The way coaches and players are talking about him really makes me feel like he's ready. And when you really look at him, sure, he's not the most built guy out there on the field, but his height, his length, his hand size, his ability to catch the ball, his ability to make plays after the catch, his skill set and frame are so unique, and if he's making big time plays in camp, who's to say he won't factor in on the field this season? I'm just imagining a red zone package with Jacoby and Deuce on the field at the same time. Not sure how you defend that. Can't wait to see what Jacoby does this fall. And last up for today, you see this here from Ryan Karchi saying USC freshman Tackett Curtis has made an early impression on fellow linebacker Jamil Muhammad. Jamil says, I've been around a lot of freshmen, they don't come quite like him. He has that swag about him that you don't see in most freshmen, or that you don't even see in most players. I mean, if there's one thing Tackett isn't lacking, it's confidence, that's for sure. You saw him in the spring game playing like a bat out of hell, flying around all over the place. I've described it as Tasmanian devil energy, and if he can learn to harness it, there's no ceiling to how good he can be. A veteran that's as smart as Jamil is can spot a good one when they see it, and it's clear he sees that special something in Tackett. Alright guys, so that is all the news coming out of USC practice. And yes, I am aware that Dakota Fields decommitted from USC and went to Oregon. I would talk about it more, but I don't really know what else I can say. He's a good player, it sucks that he's not going to be a Trojan. But guys, I do want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Jacoby Lane and the first 2 starting units on offense? Make sure you let me know down below. But guys, that will do it for me today. If you did happen to enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do want to help support the channel in an even bigger way, you can do so over on my Patreon for only $1 a month. Thank you all so much for being here today. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.